In question 12, we're given the following information. We're told that during the breakdown of a solution containing carbohydrates, proteins and lipids by enzymes, so it's an enzymatic breakdown, the pH of the solution changed from neutral, and that's due to the products formed. So we have carbohydrates, proteins and lipids, and they're broken down by enzymes, and the pH is what changed. So we're asked the question, which of the constituents of either carbohydrates, proteins or lipids contributed to this change in the pH? Okay, so we have to think about what the constituents of carbohydrates, proteins and lipids are, such that when they're broken down by enzymes, they may or may not affect the pH, which changed from neutral to something else. Well, let's think about what carbohydrates, proteins and lipids are first. We should know, and in order to do this question, we'll have to work out what the basic particles which make up carbohydrate, proteins and lipids are, and then we'll know whether they affect pH or not. We'll start with carbohydrates, which we should know is a simple chain of simple sugars, forming a large complex structure such as starch in the case of plants or glycogen in the case of human beings in the liver. So we have long chains of simple sugars, so the basic unit will be simple sugars like glucose or fructose. Moving on to proteins, but we should know that they're similarly a long chain structure, except the constituent units are amino acids. Now again, we should be able to note that acids change pH. Before we get to that, let's have a look at lipids. Lipids are composed of these two structures, glycerol being the backbone and these being fatty acids. So a lipid which has 3 fatty acids is termed a triglyceride, which is quite a common form. So would they affect pH? Simple sugars have no charge and do not contribute hydrogen ions and therefore would not affect the pH. Amino acids, since they are acids, would make the solution more acidic by contributing hydrogen ions. And finally, glycerol wouldn't affect the pH, however, fatty acids would. As present in the name, they are acidic. So, in terms of yes or no for whether the constituents affected the pH, we can say no for carbohydrates and yes for proteins and for lipids. So we can say our answer to this question is that proteins and lipids affect the structure, or rather affect the pH, so our answer is option E.